Hey lovelies, welcome and welcome back to Glowings. This is a safe space for beautiful people like you to come so we can find that inner peace, find the glow from within. It's me, your fairy guide here, Glow. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome and welcome back. And I hope you stay a while. I hope you stay more whiles. If you've been wondering why you self-sabotage a lot, this one's for you. Let's begin. I feel like a lot of us like to think we're rational beings who always act in our best interest, but many of us have had the experience of getting in our own way. Whether it's procrastinating before a big goal, or ending a relationship when it's going really well, or abandoning opportunities when they're going really well. And self-sabotage can feel so illogical, but it is logical, just not in the way that you expect. Self-sabotage is rarely conscious. It's usually a clash between our conscious goals, I want to succeed, versus our unconscious beliefs and fears saying success isn't safe and am I good enough? Self-doubt. Things like I'll be rejected if I try before you even try. And usually when these opposing forces collide, the outdated one usually wins. Let's talk about the most common psychological drivers. Number one is the fear of failure. And this one is heat because everyone goes through this one. Fear of failure is one of the most common and least understood drivers of self-sabotage. On the surface, it looks like procrastination, avoidance, and perfectionism. But underneath this lies something far more and deeply complex. And it's a deep identity level fear that usually confirms our worst beliefs about ourselves. For most people, the fear isn't about the act of failing itself. It's about what failure means. A lot of us unconsciously tie our worth, our value, our identity to the outcomes. When failure feels like evidence of inadequacy, it then becomes threatening to our emotions, to our habits. And so the mind does what it's designed to do. It protects us, and it tries to protect us from emotional pain, but in return, it just protects us from any real growth. And honestly, many of these patterns start in childhood when praise became conditional and a lot of mistakes were punished. Sometimes expectations were really high, and so a lot of people internalize the belief that errors are dangerous and very shameful. As adults, that harsh critique becomes a constant, invisible force. Failure doesn't just sting, it just unleashes a storm of self-doubt, of self-judgment, of feeling like you're not good enough. And sometimes it feels unbearable. And so for most people, they just avoid trying at all because the brain avoids situations where shame might be triggered. You delay tasks until the last minute, and then you cling to perfectionism. And so when time runs out, you can use the excuse of, well, if only I had more time. And then a lot of people refuse to try unless you can guarantee success. And I just want to tell you, these behaviors aren't laziness, but they are protective measures that your brain takes. Procrastination, for an example, gives us an emotional escape hatch. If we never start, we can never fail. And if we run out of time, we can use the excuse of, well, I just didn't have enough time. And honestly, underneath it all, there's an even deeper layer, and that's a fear of feeling the emotions that come with failure. Shame, rejection, embarrassment, disappointment, and especially for people who never had their emotions validated when growing up, this can feel really, really dangerous and overwhelming. Second reason could be fear of success. And I know fear of success sounds very paradoxical. Why would anyone fear getting what they want? But success brings its own set of threats. More visibility, higher expectations, more responsibility, and the pressure to maintain what you've just gained. For many, that feels like less excitement and more risk, of course. This fear shows up in so many ways. Number one is destructive behavior right after a breakthrough, quitting impulsively when things start to go well. And I'm talking to you that's been saying you're gonna start the gym, you start the gym and quit. I'm talking to you that wants to start your YouTube, but you start and quit. I'm talking to myself as well when I say these things, obviously, because I feel like we're all victims of that, starting and just quitting impulsively, or pushing away opportunities that you've worked so hard for. And I just want to let you know that it's not irrational, it's just protective. It's just your brain trying to protect you. Success disrupts the identity you've lived in, even if that identity is limited or painful. And the mind loves the familiar. So if you've spent years telling yourself you're the underachiever, you're the quiet one, guess what? Your mind is going to keep reiterating those things to you. And success threatens that storyline. Stepping into a bigger version of yourself can feel like stepping into unknown territory. And the unknown triggers fear. Third reason is low self-worth and imposter feelings. If a part of you believes you are not worthy of your goals, you're not worthy of love, you're not worthy of anything great, you're not worthy of achieving, you're not the achiever, your brain is just going to subconsciously gravitate towards that because that's what you're teaching it. That's what you've thought it for, basically all of your life. And it's because it feels familiar. Mind clings to what it knows, not what you want. And this shows up in everyday choices: settling for less, minimizing what you actually want, staying in dynamics that drain you or minimize your achievements, downplaying your achievements because they don't feel earned. And even when good things arrive, because of this, you might feel like an imposter, and you might feel like you're someone who just slipped through the cracks and you don't really deserve this. You don't really deserve this good thing that's coming your way. And the fourth reason is unresolved childhood patterns. A lot of self-sabotaging patterns aren't random. They're echoes of childhood patterns, especially the ones we never got to outgrow. We repeat the emotional templates that we've learned early on. The roles we played, the kind of love we were shown, the limits we were thought to live within. Hyper-independence usually comes from being taught you couldn't rely on anyone. People-pleasing is born when being agreeable kept you safe. Avoiding intimacy can develop when closeness once felt unpredictable or unsafe. These strategies aren't flaws, they're just things your younger self did to keep you safe and to protect you. But as an adult, those strategies can quickly turn into self-sabotage. Here are some ways you can break free from self-sabotage. Number one, you have to identify the pattern. You have to ask yourself, when do I tend to self-sabotage? What emotions come right before I self-sabotage? What am I afraid is going to happen if I succeed? By naming these patterns, you can identify where the problem is coming from, and in turn, that can reduce the power. Number two, you have to get curious instead of critical. And the reason why I say that is because shame strengthens self-sabotage while curiosity loosens it. Shift from what's wrong with me to what is this behavior trying to teach me or to protect me from. Number three, you have to update old beliefs, okay? Whatever you learned as a child, some things you really do have to let go. And I know it's hard to say that because it is wired into your DNA. It's been enough time now where obviously enough time has passed and it's now instilled in you, but you have to let go of some of these beliefs because they are self-sabotaging you hard. Many self-sabotaging beliefs are formed during childhood. So you have to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this true? Whose voice is this in my head? What evidence do I have today that can contradict that? And number four, most importantly, you have to build self-trust through tiny wins. Because self-sabotage thrives when self-trust is weak. And so every small promise you keep to yourself rewires your identity. You said you're going to go to the gym. Go to the gym, take it seriously. You said you wanted to start this project, you have to start that project and achieve those goals, even if it's just like 5 minutes a day. Say, okay, well, for 5 minutes a day, I'm gonna work out, but actually do it. So now your brain can trust you, be like, okay, when she talks, she achieves, okay? And that way you're building self-trust with yourself. I want you to know self-sabotage is not evidence of being lazy. It's not evidence of brokenness. It's not evidence of being useless. It's proof that your mind's protecting you based on outdated assumption. And the good news is awareness is the first step. Every choice to act despite being afraid chips away at old patterns and builds self-trust. And I want you to remember that change doesn't happen overnight, but every tiny act, every little thing that you set your goal to and achieve, it all chips away at old patterns and builds self-trust within yourself. And so I hope you take my advice. And if you're self-sabotaging a lot, I hope you know you're not alone. I do it too most of the times. I really do. I've had this goal, this YouTube goal in my head for 2 years, and I'm just now acting on it. So I have self-sabotaged so long that I know what I'm talking about, and I know the patterns, and I know the psychology behind it, because I've done it a lot. And maybe I might still do it, but I am learning, and I am taking these habits, and I am rewiring my brain, and I am telling myself, why? What are you scared of? Like, why do you feel less than? And I know where it stems from, and I am working on it. So if this is you as well, I want you to know that you're not alone. And I'm sure there's many of us out there who are also dealing with self-sabotaging. Before things even get better for you, you're already sabotaging. So if you found this video very insightful and you would love to join the glowing community, subscribe and leave a heart comment. Let us know what you're going through. I really do appreciate the feedback. If this is you going through any issues with self-sabotaging, please let me know in the comments and I will be responding. I love you guys so much, and please take care of yourself. Don't forget to let the glow guide you, protect your inner peace, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.